Alright everybody, it is Tuesday, December 19th, 2023 here at precisealgorithmtrading.com. Let's dive in and look at how our trading systems work today. Here's our automated futures for the Dow, and the latest price action has been up and a little bit of a pullback. So we'll look here, and today's the 19th, so here's our trades. Nothing super to write home about, but we need to get back to one of these kind of trades. That was a good day. So we'll get there. Um, so this is the Russell, and I still haven't worked on it to get rid of these deep pullbacks. And then I also didn't download this last sheet till last thing today. But here's the Russell for today's trading. And again, 3 winners, but not major winners, but winners still all the same. Here's the NASDAQ, which is coiling up here, kind of hoping it starts to rally out of here. And we had one trade in the beginning of the trading day for a loss, and then we had some back and forth here for the rest of the day. So we had a nice winner right there, so, and really a couple others. So yeah, that's really what I think this is going to boil down to, and I've said it before, is when the major market rolls over, which we'll look at next here, we're going to start to see some of that stuff perk up. So we are still in the SPX here. I'm going to put in the SPY, so it's got some volume to it, and we can see all the colors and everything going here. So we're up here in nosebleed area. That's still a bullish candle. It's been an amazing run higher, and it sure looks like it's still there on the weekly as well. So let's look at that's the S&P. Let's look at QQQ. That's the NASDAQ. Same thing. And we've tagged the 252 week high now. There's 252 days in a year or thereabouts, which is what this is, the 52 week high, and then I just applied that to the weekly because it's fractal in nature, and we've tagged that, and that's actually showing up as an all-time high, I believe, or at least a high for what the chart is. So that's interesting and kind of exciting. Let's look at the IWM. That's the Russell 2000. We've popped, and we're doing the same thing on the Russell. IYT. That's the transports. So yeah, and with Christmas and a shortened, I guess it's not a shortened trading week unless Friday is a short day. It might be. I'll have to check that out on econoday.com. They've got a calendar, but Friday's probably a full trading day, but they might stop it at 1 p.m. just for the sake of being right before Christmas. Like I say, I have to check that out. But what I was saying is, with the holiday week like this, I'm kind of expecting it to continue to bleed higher. So let's look at oil, which is coming up off the bottom here. I was going to take a trade the other day, and I decided against it, but something I don't want to lose sight of. This is the weekly over here. If I flip the daily to the weekly, and it'll show the Bollinger Bands here. That was actually a nice Bollinger Band bounce, and we could theoretically get back to the mean, and once we get back here to the 30 period moving average, it would be flat, and that would possibly be a buy signal there for the week. So on the daily, it doesn't look, it's not a flat. The 30 period moving average, the one that's red here. Uh, but we could still get a buy signal on that, and you can see what happens. The hourly has moved higher in waves, but still higher. And USO actually we got sort of a buy signal today because it closed above that 30 period moving average. The rule is though that you really want it to be flattening out or going up, and it's, I could argue it's flattening out, but it sure is still really poised and going down. But if you bought here, you could set your stop really close right there, and if you're wrong, you're not really risking much. And if you're right, it could get all the way back up here into this supply area, which is basically the relative recent highs. You can see this actually came up and became supply. It got close to the recent highs but didn't take them out, and that became a lower high. And we've been in lower highs and lower lows now all the way down here. So if we start here and put in still a lower high, or even in this neck of the woods, and then pull back, we could put in a higher low, and that could be a place to be watching for, which is part of the reason I have this alert down in here. We need to see a change in polarity, really, for this thing to be taken off, kind of like we did here when this 30 period moving average on the hourly went from red to green. It did it pretty violently, but then it pulled back to about halfway between those two pivots, the high and the low, and then you could have got in and ridden it higher. And let's look at gold. GLD breaking higher. Same thing, guys. It's there's the breakout up to where it was. It's still red, but flattening out. Went up, pulled back. This is another potential buy area. It didn't, I don't think, cross and give you an arrow, but that'd be a place to buy. This pullback here, same thing. You can use the pivots, the previous pivots. They are on here to set stops, and then you can flip it over and just literally use your hourly chart to monitor the trade and manage your stops. Is really, if you want the longer term stop, you use the daily, and if you want the shorter term stop, then you use the hourly. You start to be in profit, move it to the hourly and tighten your stops. These are not recommendations. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of an education on how you can make some money in the markets, potentially. You got to stay on it though. Just to give an example, here is a stock that went straight up after it did that, and that has been just glorious. So why would it do that? It does that because it had a lot of short interest down there, and people are just getting their heads ripped off, and you want to be on the right side of that. So that is my market review for tonight. Let's go to stockcharts.com and I hope that the internet cooperates. Yeah, good. Industrials up 4.55% today. The NYA tacked on a new X and went up 0.4%. Still in a point and figure sell signal though. The transports tacked on 5 new X's today. Went up 16.67%. That's pretty amazing. That's a big move. The NASDAQ, that is a new point and figure buy signal as of the other day, and we still went up 1.74% today. The upper reversal zone is considered to be in the 70 range here. You get up above 70 and then dip below it, is one way to basically how point and figure charts can be traded. These are bullish percent indexes, so they're a little different, but really you're considered overbought when it gets over 70, and you can see it gets all the way up here in recent history to the 80 range, and that was in 2020. I'm sorry, 2021. Uh, what was that one? That was Nasdaq. Going to the S&P, up 0.51%. The OEX up 1.3%, and the NDX no change, and way up here in the nosebleed section at 87. So 13% of stocks in the NDX, so 13 out of 100 are not on a point and figure buy signal. So that tells you where the buyers and sellers are. At least gives you some indication of it. So that's what I got for tonight. Hope it helps. Take care, guys. Good trading, and have a great day tomorrow.